Boarding a plane is a frustrating constant of commercial air travel, and it's frequently suggested that the prevalent back-to-front boarding method is actually the least efficient. We ask Illinois students for their thoughts.
I think it takes a long time.
I think there are a lot of places that can be improved.
And I didn't know which line I was supposed to stand in. So I think communication could be a lot better.
I definitely think it could be faster, seeing that it's very long. And just the way that, you kind of single file, you get checked 3 times before you even get on the plane.
Cloak is a free-for-all, basically. Well, they divide it into groups. Everyone within that group is having a free-for-all for their own seats.
So overhead luggage is an issue because there's limited space.
I would guess probably doing something like window seat, middle seat, aisle seat. But I think that would lead to so much anger from passengers if they happen to get an aisle seat by request, or the only seats left are aisle seats and they have to wait last. People are just not sympathetic to that. Yeah, but that seems like it would be the fastest way.
Well, I've flown Southwest and United. Recently I've flown United, and I feel like their process is a little better than Southwest, because for boarding for Southwest, it's just everyone fair game. You just go for it. But United, they set boarding up as people who sit by the windows board first, other than business class, and I thought that was a pretty neat idea, because then you're not climbing over other people to get to your seat. So I thought that was pretty cool.
So we're here to talk to an industry expert when it comes to aviation. Over the years, this faculty member has amassed tons of research dealing with all sorts of problems, including the one that led to the foundation of the TSA pre-check system. And we're pretty confident that he can offer us a lot of invaluable advice about our project. So let's go. Consider yourself a frequent commercial flyer?
I am a very frequent commercial flyer.
Okay, perfect. So in this process, from the point where you're sitting at the gate waiting for your flight till the point you're actually in your seat, what do you think of that process? Do you think it could be better? Do you think it's great as it is?
It's organized as best the airlines can do with the tools they have. What they're trying to do is get people on as quickly as possible without anybody being hurt or injured, although the recent United incident suggests otherwise. So as a result, they try and apply different processes to make this efficient.
Okay, so then considering your response, if you were given full reign over any airline, let's have it be United, what would you make?
I don't fly United.
Not anymore?
No, I never have.
Okay. Guess you escaped that bullet.
There you go.
But any airline, so what would you make the process look like, just off the top of your head?
I would actually have people who are at the windows and further back board first, and as you move closer to the front of the cabin and closer to the aisle, that's when you have those people board later. That would be the optimal way to do it.
Okay, so that's your best guess.
That's my best guess.
While passengers desire ease and efficiency, the airlines pursue efficiency and profitability. So the past 2 decades have witnessed different boarding methods, such as the Wilma method, or the outside-in method, that lets the passengers board the window seats first, then the middle seats, finally the aisle seats, or the Stephan method, where passengers board in alternate rows, or the random boarding method, where passengers have an assigned seat but not an assigned row, so they're free to board in a random order. Or, as previously discussed, the back to front method, where passengers board from the back row to first row. This project, however, is focused on the block boarding method that divides the total rows of seats into 3 sections of front, middle, and rear, and loads the passengers blockwise. The objective of this project is to evaluate if changing the order of the sections of how passengers board the plane makes any difference on airplane loading time. To maintain the simplicity and uniqueness of the project, The Boeing 787-8 Dreamliner wide body jet is used with an all-economy class configuration. This evens the spacing between each section of the plane, and it also allows all passengers to have equal priority while boarding. The cabin configuration used is 9 seats per row, 2 aisles and 40 rows. The seating in the jet is divided into 4 sections A, B, C and D, so that each section has 10 rows. The jet has 2 doors, front and rear respectively, that can be used by passengers in any section.
So our model is just like getting on a plane in real life for the most part. Basically, as your section is announced, you get to the door and then you go to your section. So we have all 4 split in here based on the order of boarding, and that's what we're switching around. So we're using the time to seat data we calculated from an actual experiment on Matthews.
Sections A, B, C, D in the plane, the 24 different combinations we get, we are going to manually change the order of the sections by clicking on the edges and then changing the delay of the sections. And we can have A, B, C, D, D, A, C, B, 24 combinations of that. We run 5 different trials for each combination and find the mean boarding time. And because this is a random number generator, we use a really large seed, preferably a 5-digit odd numbered seed, because it gave us the longest simulation runtime. So this is the results we get. As talked earlier, these are the 24 different combinations we have, and we did 5 trials for each combination. We figured out the mean boarding time for each combination. So the data derived from the results table were then transferred to Minitab in order to calculate the Six Sigma control chart. Here we have the Six Sigma control chart, and the mean standard total boarding time turned out to be 2,161.89 seconds. And each of the 24 combinations lie inside the upper control limit and the lower control limit. Further evaluation caused us to know that no significant special causes were triggered, so no seating interruptions occurred. So it's safe to assume that people sat outside within the outside-in approach, and the results we derived have caused us to conclude that there's no significant difference in the total boarding time by changing the order of the sections in which passengers board the plane.
When we started this project, we talked to some experts in the field. Professor Lanigan at Ghent University gave us advice and helped us with designing our model better. Professor Stephen at University of Nevada at Las Vegas gave us a very insightful discussion into future potential of this project. So despite our very interesting result, there's still plenty of potential remaining in this field. And so basically any unused idle space is a waste, and this is what needs to be focused on. To do this, we need to load the sections simultaneously or eliminate them altogether. So this can be like the random process that we talked earlier in the video. And we can also model the instances of people getting in the way. Thank you. Thank you.
You don't look at the camera.
Boarding time for each combination. Stop.